Hello everybody, my name is Jason Kerr, and today I will be presenting my research proposal on the color red and its effect on visuospatial short-term memory. Begin with our research question. Does the presence of the color red influence one's visuospatial short-term working memory? This is an important question indeed, as every day in our lives, from exposure to the colored GUIs of our computer screens to our glances at street signs while driving, we are bombarded with red. However, before we plunge into the nitty-gritty of our experimental design, let's first explore some foundational research on red's effects. A study on the influence of color on basic motor action, Elliott and Arts found that participants presented instructions to a pinch grip force task in red gripped the sensor with significantly greater speed and ferocity than participants assigned any other color condition. This implies a more visceral response to the color red, which Elliott and Arts concluded to be due to threat or challenge perception. In a prior study, Elliott et al. Presented participants with a wide array of cognitive tests in varying color conditions and found that red has a universal performance-hindering effect. Furthermore, this cognition-inhibiting effect was found to extend to web-based testing interfaces by Nams et al., though interestingly with a reduced effect in female participants. Now, departing from our purely psychological studies, it was found in an ecological analysis by Hill and Barton that phenotypic expression of the color red is often associated with dominance in some mammals. In humans, however, these effects elicited by the presence of the color red are likely due to long-term psychological conditioning and biological predisposition alike, meaning one is likely influenced by their association of red with caution, for example, stop signs or a corrective red ink, as well as having some degree of biological aversion to blood or other bodily fluid. This is to our first bit of background data. This figure is from Elliott et al.'s study on red and cognitive performance. The data, score on the numeric subtest of a standardized IQ test, was collected from participants in 3 different color conditions. Note the significant performance deficit in the red condition. The second figure is from Nams et al.'s study on red's effect on web-based testing. This data, general knowledge testing score, was instead collected from participants testing in 2 different color conditions. Note again the performance deficit in those testing in the red condition, but also the odd discrepancy in the effect between men and women. The present study seeks to see if these inhibitory effects of the color red extend to visuospatial short-term memory. This is operationalized through a common measure of this cognitive faculty that we will discuss in depth on a later slide, the Corsi block tapping test. We hypothesize that, consistent with the literature discussed, participants assigned the red color condition will perform worse on the Corsi block tapping test than participants assigned the green or gray color conditions. Furthermore, we hypothesize that women will exhibit less cognitive inhibition than men, meaning their Corsi test will be relatively less affected. The study will make use of a 2x3 between subjects design. The independent variables in the study are biological sex, male and female, and color condition, red, gray, or green. The dependent variable will be the mean Corsi span per color and sex condition. This data will be recorded through Psych Toolkit's back-ended cloud-based data collection. We plan to recruit 150 non-colorblind participants through adverts placed around populated areas on UNF's campus, and participation will be incentivized by a reward of 5 Aussie bucks. To the right is the participant screening questionnaire that will be used to both exclude colorblind participants from the participant pool and sort participants by sex for matched condition assignment, which will ensure a balanced distribution of sexes across color conditions. The present study also makes use of a version of the Corsi block tapping test that is modified to have a background to match the 3 respective color conditions. Examples of the 3 tests can be seen on the right, as well as the instructions shown to participants prior to testing beneath them. In the Corsi block tapping test, participants are asked to recall the order in which the magenta squares shown on the screen line up. The highest number they can recall without 2 consecutive failures, up to the maximum of 9, is considered their Corsi span. For data analysis, this study will make use of a between subjects factorial ANOVA. Ideally, this will reveal a main effect of color condition, no main effect of gender, and a significant interaction between gender and color condition. This means that, though the presence of red will inhibit the visuospatial short-term memory of all participants, women will submit less strongly affected Corsi scores than men. In conclusion, this study anticipates to find that, consistent with prior research, the color red impairs visuospatial short-term memory and that women are less strongly affected by red's cognitively hindering properties than men. This is possibly due to differences in cultural and biological predisposition, with men being both generally more receptive to threat cues and socially primed for performance anxiety. If consistent with speculation, these findings would serve to further emphasize the importance of conscious color choice in the backgrounds or presentation of tests, the workplace, or other scenarios where performance is significant. Finally, these are my sources referenced earlier in the presentation. Thank you for your time and have a fantastic day.